Hey everyone, it's me, Blue. This is a video I never thought I'd have to make, but today I'm here to address something that's deeply troubling, something that has completely changed how I and a lot of other people view FNAF TD. This will be my final video on the game. After hearing the revelations shared by a former lead developer, I can no longer support this project. This is the dark truth about FNAF TD. Before we dive into the issues, let's talk about what FNAF TD was and why it became so beloved. When it launched, it stood out from the other Roblox games with its unique take on tower defense genre, combining the charm of Five Nights at Freddy's with strategic gameplay. It attracted tons of players. The game wasn't perfect, but it had heart. Fans loved building strategies around their favorite animatronics, and updates like Security Breach even kept things fresh. For many, including myself, FNAF TD wasn't just a game, it was a community. But as the saying goes, not all that glitter is gold. Behind the scenes, there's a storm brewing. The revelation came from a document written by Will TGP, the game's former lead modeler. This wasn't just a quick statement or a rant, it was a detailed account of a year's worth of mistreatment, exploitation, and dysfunction within the development team. Let's break it down. One of the first things we'll highlighted is the relentless pace of development. Take the security breach event, for example. It was completed in just 4 days. 4 days to create a new map, enemies, and mechanics. Tasks that would normally take weeks or maybe even months. The result? Updates that were buggy, incomplete, and left both players and developers very frustrated. This wasn't an isolated incident. Every major update was rushed, leaving no room for quality control. Developers were expected to sacrifice their personal lives to meet impossible deadlines, and when things inevitably went wrong, the blame was sadly shifted to them. Will's contributions to the game were huge. He created 80 to 90% of all the models you see in FNAF TD. Animatronics, maps, assets, he did it all. Yet, despite his critical role, his pay was slashed multiple times. At one point, he was earning as little as $3 a day for work that should have been worth hundreds. It's not just about the money, it's about respect. Will wasn't just being underpaid, he was being undervalued. The same goes for other team members who poured their hearts into this game, only to be treated as disposable. At the center of the chaos was the game's former owner, Firegoo. According to Will, Firegoo manipulated the team by withholding information, creating a culture of fear, and making threats to keep developers in line. Even after leaving the project, Firegoo continued to take a cut of the game's earnings, draining resources from those who still working on it. This toxic environment drove several talented developers to quit. Dragon, Error, Reptidum. Those who stayed were left to pick up the pieces, often working overtime to compensate for the lack of manpower. By the time the Halloween and Christmas update rolled around, the cracks were impossible to ignore. Bugs plagued the game, the economy was broken, and data issues caused the players to lose their progress. Behind the scenes, the team were scrambling to fix things, but they were fighting a losing battle. Will's breaking point came after finishing assets for multiple updates. He had worked tirelessly, yet, when he asked for a week off, he was assigned even more tasks. Meanwhile, other developers were taking extended breaks with no consequences. It was clear the system was rigged against them. As the issues piled up, the player base began to dwindle. Longtime fans left, frustrated by the game's decline. The community that had once been so vibrant was now filled with complaints and disappointment. For Will, this was the final straw. He left the project alongside with other core developers, marking the end of an era for FNAF TD. The game still exists, but it's a shadow of its former self. You might be wondering why I'm making this video. After all, it's just a Roblox game, right? But this isn't just about FNAF TD. It's about the people who create the games we love. Developers like Will deserve better. They deserve to be paid fairly. treated with respect, and given the time they need to do their jobs. As players, we don't often see what happens behind the scenes. We only see the final product. But behind every game is a team of real people with real struggle and real lives. When those people are mistreated, it affects everything: the game, the community, and the industry as a whole. I can't ignore what's been revealed. The passion that fueled this game has been overshadowed by greed, manipulation, and dysfunction. To Will and the other developers, new and old, who gave everything for this game, thank you. Your work didn't go unnoticed. You deserve better. To the FNAF TD community, this isn't an easy goodbye, but it's the right one. I can no longer support a game built on the exploitation of its creators. Thank you for joining me on this journey. It's been an honor to share my passion for this game with you. But now, it's time to move on. That's all, folks.